Welcome to my top 10 game-changing tips in Excel. In your Excel spreadsheet, if you have rows of data with images in it, and if you try to apply filter, let's say on this Pokemon spreadsheet, I'm going to filter my hit point based on, say, for instance, 38. You can see that the rows of data has been filtered, but the images, well, it's not filtered at all. So to get around this, let me first undo by pressing Ctrl Z. Go to the very top and then select any of the images by right-clicking on it. When this context menu appears, click anywhere on the spreadsheet and make sure that this is still selected like that. Once you have one image selected, press Ctrl A to select all the image on this spreadsheet. Once that's done, right-click on any of the image, and from this context menu, select Format Object. On the far right hand side, a Format Picture menu will appear. Select Size and Property, Expand Properties, and then you want to check on Move and Size with Cell like that. Once that's done, let's close this Format Picture menu and let's try applying the filter again on your hit point. And we're doing 38 just now. You can see the row of data and the picture has filter application now. If you have series of name and you want to index like that, one, you can type that, select the box, drag it, and you get numbers in sequence. That's another better way to do this would be to say equal double quote num space double quote followed by n sequence, and then however many rows that you want to apply the sequence to. It's got 20 rows. So you can also improve this better. You can see that it's kind of weird that you don't have a name but you do have a sequence number. The way to get around that would be to use the word or macro called COUNTA followed by all the rows starting from B all the way down to however many rows you want to do it. Close it. Then if you don't have a name, there will not be any sequence number, but now if you type Sam, Sally and add, you can see the sequence number will come in play. If you have to fill up an empty cell with a customized text like that, do not do this. This can be tedious and can lead to error, especially if your table is very long. That's another way to get around this to make sure every cell gets edited. The way to do it is to press Ctrl G to open a Go To pop-up window. In here, click on Special, and then you select Blanks and hit OK. What this does is that it goes ahead and select all the blank cells for you. So in here, you type the customized text that you want, and once you're done, press Ctrl Enter to apply this customized text to every cell which is blank. And every cell on your spreadsheet will be filled up with the text that you want. When someone needs to highlight a cell, they go select the cell and highlight, select the cell and highlight, select the cell and highlight. As you can see, there's a lot of mouse movement with this technique. A better option would be to select a cell, highlight, and then select any cell that you want to highlight and press F4. F4, F4, F4. This technique also works when you use this style. Let's say you select a cell, say you select this style, and you go select another cell. Now you press F4, 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 F4. This technique also works when you insert a new line. Let's say, for example, you go here and right click and you say insert entire row, and then you select any row here and press F4, 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 and F4. In Windows, you can store the status of each row by either 1 or -1 or whichever way you have. But there's a more presentable way to do this. Select the cell that you want to show the presentation, press Ctrl 1, select Custom. Here you type square bracket green, close square bracket, Windows full stop to open up emoji window. Select the emoji that you want, followed by space, double quote, space, let's say, I'm gonna say watch, close, double quote, semicolon, open square, red, close square, Windows period. Let's say I want to put a cross here, and then I'm gonna say double quote, space waiting double quote and click on OK. As you can see, there's this colorful emoji that comes up. If you want to apply, click on paint format and apply in all of them. And then if you change to 1 here and -1, it changes accordingly. If you have to compare two datasets, for this example, column A dataset and column B dataset, and find the differences, don't do it manually like that. This one have pencils, this is pen and pen blue, and this is 32 gig and 64 gig. This can be long and tedious, especially if your dataset is very long. Let me show you a more productive way to do it. Let's say if you want to highlight this column B instead of this, place your cursor here and then select the dataset completely back to back. Once that's done, press Ctrl G or press F5 to open the go-to window. Then select Special and select Row Differences and click OK. What it does is that it goes ahead and highlights for you all the differences that's on your dataset from A and B, and after that you can just click on Highlight. If you have created an online attendance document using Google Sheet, do not do this manually. Like for example, the first student, say present, absent on Wednesday, present, and count the number of presents and put 4. This can be tedious and long-winded, especially if your data set is too big. Let me show you a more presentable way to do this and more productive way. First, we're going to put a checkbox on all the students for the 5 days. So select the area and click on Insert, Checkbox. That you'll create a checkbox for every student here. Next, we're going to include a formula to count, which is going to be a function called COUNTIF. Then you select the cells of that row, and we're looking for true, indicating a check on the checkbox. If you hit enter, and now if you start to put a check, it will count the checkbox for you for present. Then to apply the formula to all the students, just click the square box and drag. And now you can take attendance using Google Sheet online. There are 3 ways to use Excel as of today. First one, of course, being the standalone and offline version, which everybody is familiar of. This is a paid version of Microsoft Office, but this is not what we're here for. We're here for the online and free version. Open a browser. Let's go to incognito mode here so that I can show you the login process. The first way is to use Microsoft 360. Enter the following URL called excel.new and hit enter. You'll be asked to log in with your Microsoft password, which I'm going to do right now. Yeah, this is one of the way using Microsoft 360 Office Online to use Excel. Let me show you another way, which is to use Google Sheet. I'm going to open another tab on incognito mode and enter the following URL and hit enter. You'll be asked to log in with your Google account. I'm going to log in with my Google account here. Once you log in, you go into any of your sheet or start a brand new, and this is another way to get access to Excel. If you're trying to assign a grade letter for every student with their math score based on this lookup table, try not to do this. Like for example, 84 under this lookup table will be B, 55 will be E, 15 will be F, and 97 will be A. It's very tedious and long-winded, especially if you have a data set as big as mine. I have 4,100 students here in my list. So the best way to do will be to use a VLOOKUP. Then the formula will be equal VLOOKUP, open parenthesis, and it's going to be C2, which is just the next cell to it, comma, the lookup table. And once the lookup table is entered, press F4 to make it a fixed reference, comma 2 to indicate the grade column. And you close parenthesis, and there you go, you got the grade. And you double click this square box to apply to all the students in your class, all 4,100 of them. In my profession of using Excel, I've been asked to do many funny things with the client's dataset, and this by far is one of them, to introduce a blank space between the two records, like right click here, insert, right click here, insert, right click here, and insert. Let me show you a smarter way to do this rather than doing it manually. Let's undo this guy. On the first two records, you're going to put 1 and 2 and highlight those two cells. Double click this square block to populate all the column or the cells with running sequence number. Then you press Ctrl C to copy and paste it at the bottom like that. Once that's done, go to the top and then select data from your menu and select filter. And now on the pull down menu, select sort smallest to largest, and you will see, right click here, delete, you'll see every record have a space in between. On my YouTube channel, I regularly share Excel tips and tricks every day. Make sure you subscribe to stay updated.